Morning, friends. Kevin back from Watch It with Joe and Kevin. Season 5, Episode 8 of The Sopranos. Obviously, the big takeaway, which I thought the last episode was absolutely fantastic in terms of the writing and execution of it. We get really our first look in a while at Tony confronting his feelings about his father, especially in relation to his feelings for his mother, which have been very well documented throughout the show. But, you know, in season 1, Tony accused his mother in session a lot of kind of like, you know, lionizing his dad a little bit, like putting him on a pedestal. And, you know, she always said what a saint he was, even though Tony pointed out you couldn't stand the guy while he was alive and he was really no saint. And now we kind of cut to Tony here, kind of doing the same thing, right? We have a recollection of his dad with one of his Gumars, who Tony has now met and spent very weird time with, and I thought was a pretty awkward relationship arc that they had. But saying, right, that, you know, talking about how great his dad was in terms of with her, and he had to face the fact that his father was awful, right? Livia had a miscarriage. She was in the hospital, and he was nowhere to be found until the next day, despite the fact he knew what was going on. His father even had to include Tony in the lying about it a little bit. And Tony's response is, that poor man, look how my mother, awful as she was, drove him to other women. Maybe some of that is, you know, him kind of excusing himself for his own bad behavior, because he engages in exactly the same things. But I really do hope that as we move forward with the time we have left in the show, which kind of works out to about 2.5 seasons of what the run of the show typically is, with that long final season, I hope we do get more of Tony facing his feelings about his father before we're done with the show. I think that's important because, you know, the relationship he's had with AJ's been so weird and strained and up and down and important, especially lately. And I think it might help Tony understand himself a little bit and how he is and why he is and who he is now, if he can understand the person whose footsteps he literally followed in. But we shall see. I want to go and thank all of our Patreon subscribers who've been here with us, and give a special thank you to our super patrons: AB, Actuarial Lurker, Balazs Foldes, Derek Peterson, Devin Garneau, MTC93, Jamie Morgan, Jeff, Jojo Potato, Natasha Norris, NJ, Sudugu Navarapu, Trey Contreras, Where Panda 47, Wolfgang Wolf, Yannick from Montreal, and Torgeir Lingstad. Thank you so much, guys. I'm incredibly grateful that you're here with us. If you look in the description below, you'll see the link to our Patreon page for full-length watch-alongs. We're way ahead over there, but you're going to have to sync and watch along in your own source material due to copyright law. And I really hope we get more into Tony B and his decline, because I think that him as being a part of the show as a criminal is going to be more prevalent moving forward.
The house sang out to us about Miami and Taormina, where we had a honeymoon. Nicole said,
that is beautiful. Oh my God.
Amen.
Daddy, the boat is sinking.
Yeah, there's a war coming.
I just sailed her from Miami 3 weeks ago. She was fine.
Yeah, I don't think Carmine being in New York is a good idea now, or Jersey. I can't tell where he is. Oh my God, that was a long fall. Okay, landed in the bushes.
You know what you find yourself thinking in your private moments? Please, God, let me die first. I don't want to miss him.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
You've been spared that. Well, you and Tony calling it quits now?
I feel like the universe is pushing them back together here.
Thank God. Oh. His roofing days are over, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they should be. 75.
I know, but just the idea of having a family party in the backyard without Tony there,
Yeah, I get that.
it wouldn't be the same.
It's going to be okay.
Oh my God, get that kid into a room.
I think it's a very wise decision.
What decision? I haven't made one.
True, friends of ours, most of them probably wouldn't own it. It was always a dream of mine, Tony, to find Italians.
And now we're seeing the Johnny Sack side of things.
This asshole's giving away washing machines. You believe that?
Yeah.
His son-in-law's a broker. They let it lapse looking for a better rate.
That was just dumb.
Get in, take you for a ride. Fucking thing's so powerful. I had to take a lesson from the dealer last night. Pretty low.
Yeah, Tony's a big dude.
I gotta pay for the repairs. Long story. I distracted him while he was driving.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, the kind of business you do through here.
Anyway, his name is Phil, and Carmela sends hello.
Please say hello.
Everything comes with strings. Everything.
Girl called in sick.
You should get a new one.
Have a seat.
Yeah, living like a slob.
75th birthday? You know, the surprise party we talked about last summer?
Oh, yeah, that's coming up?
Yeah, next Saturday.
I can forgive him for forgetting for a year.
I thought, why put us and people in an uncomfortable situation?
Well, I decided right away when we broke up I wasn't coming.
Oh.
For you, 75th? I insist.
You know, I would rather see you go back to your therapist.
I'd like to see you go to a therapist.
Whoa.
Oh, really? Well, you can tell them all that I can't afford it.
Well, it's not really your business anymore, whether I go or what.
Yeah, he's hurt. Lashing out.
What's on?
It said in the guide it's an Italian movie. But even with the captions, I can't tell what's what. I better call you. Tell them not to expect me.
Surprise party, Joe.
Yeah, don't call.
I'd love to be at your Jubilee.
Junior.
Jubilee?
But the federal government says I can't leave the house.
This is such a dumb thing to do.
So happy birthday, my friend, and many more. Arrivederci.
That was so rude.
I don't know. The airbag thing, it earns good. It's not hard work, Christ knows.
He wants to do something bigger now? Oh my god, he is really spiraling.
What should I get you, DeAngelis, for his birthday? I was thinking cigars, but then I figured you were probably going to bring some.
Well, actually, I decided not to go.
I decided, yeah.
Your car's in here, Phil.
It's all set.
It's going to be cheap, though, right? Because Tony went cheap. He's going to notice something, isn't he?
Something's off with the seat.
What is it, Phil?
Feels off kilter. Try it, Joey.
Oh, my God.
Phil, we did what was asked of us.
Call me when it's done right.
Call Tony. Tell him it's going to cost more.
AJ,
Huh? What?
Junior Soprano told me all about it.
That miserable...
I agree. Yeah.
I'm fine with knowing. In my age, it's surprise enough to be able to get out of bed every morning. So who's coming to this shindig?
God damn him!
Yeah.
He got a medal from the Pope himself.
Wow.
But when we were kids,
That actually is cool.
he had such a bad case of the crabs, we used to call him the governor of Maryland.
Hey, you, stop acting like a child.
That's funny.
We should get used to the idea of living separate lives.
Oh, that's a crock of shit.
You don't talk to her like that. This is
Wow, this is all on Junior.
I talked to Tony about it. He's in agreement with me.
because you put the screws to him.
Yeah.
Go right the head ahead, because I'm not coming if the man of the house isn't there.
Boy, AJ gets to watch some drama, doesn't he?
Tony, before I outlay for these costs, I need to know...
Ange, I'm not there. What do I know? It's your call.
He's not going to pay for it, is he?
Well, they're fixing the fucking Shah of Iran's car. Can you be there when he picks it up? Make sure he's happy, but don't let this shit spiral out of control.
Okay, that's good.
Mambo? Oh, Carlos was teaching you the mambo. That's a different story. Get out! Get out!
I've not seen this bit, so I don't know if this is any good Gleason or not.
Well, yeah, I could use a little cash injection. Maybe a push up the pyramid. You know, time served.
Oh, boy.
And this involves...
Somebody needs to go.
Oh, no.
New York guy, not Jersey.
Who's he with?
Friend of a friend, not a friend of ours.
So this is retaliation.
It's not the boat.
It's not the boat.
It's the boat.
You don't want us involved in this problem over here anyway.
Why don't you think about it for a bit?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Good.
Well, he really wants you there. If you could find a way to make it, I know he would be very happy.
He's going.
He's very fond of you.
He's playing hard to get now.
I don't know. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it.
He will 100% be there.
You want to destroy her property.
It's a beach chair. It shouldn't get wet.
Don't get smart.
Yeah.
I'm making Grandpa's favorite maple walnut icebox cake.
No, we have cake. Jerry, just...
Why don't you take a swim? I know you're hot.
Do you have a towel?
Oh, my God. Everyone's just moving in.
He left. He said he told you he had to boat for a minute. He asked us to watch the twins.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. That is so rude. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Come on, Joey.
Tony, nice to meet you.
Come on, you coming?
Joe, try to keep him cooled down.
Yeah. This is going to get ugly. I'm kind of wondering if Phil's the guy that they want Tony to kill. Maybe headed that way anyway.
Don't you have any hors d'oeuvres without tomatoes?
The prosciutto wrap chef. Rosalie just took him out.
This is not a good time.
See, now where the hell is Tony?
I have a glass of wine. Calm me down, love.
Tony is going to be fashionably late.
He's always got to wait till the last minute.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Pins and needles, needles and pins. Columbo. A doctor in the house, huh? That's good, because somebody usually goes down at these things.
Russ had an audience with 4 popes.
Oh. What section did you all sit in?
Oh, idiot.
Well, I'd love to stay and chat, but I got a fire to start. Nice to meet you, Doc.
Nice to meet you.
I think Tony's perfectly charming.
Salud.
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 Speak! Speak!
You are the greatest, my little Melly.
Oh, that is so sweet. We don't get that many of these moments.
Open this.
Yeah, it's from him.
You're too much.
That's really nice. Pool cue or gun?
Stratocaster?
Gun.
What time do you start drinking today?
Probably right after you got up.
Oh, cuz.
Like the freezer full of venison this year, you.
You got it, kid. Yeah.
Is this a Chekhov's gun situation where somebody's going to get killed by that thing eventually?
You made my father's year with that gun.
Think so.
How's that look? Done?
You're the grillmeister.
I think there's a little romantic tension there.
The nature of the system instills the convict mentality to the point where prison becomes the only venue where the convict can function.
That's actually true. I believe that. Oh, no.
Can we get some able-bodied seamen over here? Tony B?
Oh, he's just drunk. Okay.
Lester will drive. He's in the bathroom.
Hey, Virginia Mayo.
Yeah, this gun's coming back somehow. I think it's going to be used on somebody.
Oh, please, calm down. The off-color jokes, the sausage twirling.
Tony.
These are cultured Italians.
Oh, come on.
Wouldn't meet your Gavone son-in-law.
He made us all look like Gavones.
Whatever we are, I am proud of it, unlike you,
Tony was fine.
Marco. Hello.
Yeah, that was pretty snobby. Tony can be awful, but he was perfectly fine at this party.
You could use a dip.
No, don't you! I'm serious!
What?
AJ!
Hey!
Hope she didn't have her cell phone in her pocket. See, everyone's getting along today. I don't see any point for any derision here.
You're still late.
Marco.
I'll put him in the hamper.
What's this?
I don't know. Yes, you do. Shut up.
Am I talking to you, Justin?
They steal something from the Soprano house.
He got to go to the Olympics and everything. I love where he lives. I don't want to come back here.
Oh, God, that sucks.
We should get going, AJ. I don't want to drop you off at Patrick's too late. Call me when you get to Patrick's.
Yeah, I'll try. He's in a bad cell area.
Always. Always an excuse for not doing what he's supposed to.
You'll try.
Just showing her he's not a kid.
I think he's showing him more than that.
Everyone caught that Artie, who was bald, had a towel around his head, right? Artie's doing some drinking. He's in. Of course he's in.
Hello. One deado.
God, man.
Hey, Crystal. The room is empty. Come on, time is money.
Thanks. Phil will be very happy.
Oh, is this who he's killing? This sucks, man. It's good camera work here on the approach. That poor girl. That is so frustrating. Honestly, I'm not surprised by how that arc went at all after the last couple of episodes, but I have to say, I think that was incredibly stupid of Tony B, because I really feel like that Little Carmine's people using somebody from Tony's crew to basically pick a side, right, in this conflict when Tony's trying to stay out of it. But now Tony B, who works for Tony, it now takes a side and kills somebody, basically in Phil's crew, basically one of Johnny Sack's people. It really kind of pushes this idea that Tony has picked a side in this one thing that he didn't want to pick a side, all because Tony B, who I used to really like, couldn't handle the fact that he wasn't doing financially as well as his cousin, right? There's always been that thing where I went to prison and it could have been me, but it was you instead, and our lives are on these different paths now, and it all worked out so well for Tony Soprano and so poorly for Tony B. I love the fact they have the same name, by the way. It really, really works to mirror the guys now in the paths that they take. And I think that this is pulling Tony into a war or picking sides in a war that he wanted nothing to do with, and probably puts him into the war. I think this was incredibly self-destructive and short-sighted and idiotic by Tony B, who I have always on the show kind of given credit for being one of the smarter people. Man, this is frustrating to watch his downward spiral get here. I know he's upset that he doesn't know where his daughter is. I didn't even know it was a storyline until it kind of popped up here. It may have been mentioned before, but if it did, I'd forgotten about it because I didn't know what what he was talking about with Meadow. But man, to see like his own sons basically say you're a failure, you're not as successful as your cousin, which is exactly what they did, and for that to work so well and push him over the edge, and he was kind of getting there anyway, feeling like he was doing small time errands for Tony, and kind of being there. We've seen people feel like the help before with Carmela. This isn't the first time we've seen people who are helping out feel like they were the help, which is kind of different. And so, Tony B's downward spiral, I think, is going to kick off problems for a lot more people. Of course, there's going to be retaliation. Of course, this is going to, if it gets out who it was, and now that his foot got run over, it might, because the guy's got to get medical treatment. Word is going to get out. Carmine's probably going to leak that it was him, because it helps Carmine's case, right? Ooh, Tony B, who's in the Tony Soprano crew, took a shot at, didn't take a shot at, killed one of Johnny Sack's people for me. So it looks like that, Carmine is getting support from Tony in a roundabout way. This is going to be such a mess for everybody. I don't know what you do about Tony B at this point. He's at this stage, he's become a legitimate liability. And you'd hate to think that, his sudden downfall, ultimately leads to his own death, which is, I think, very much on the table at this point. God, this has just turned into such a mess, and I think it's going to get messier. This is just great writing. Is Tony back with Carmela? I don't know. I thought maybe when he left, she was laying there in bed with her eyes closed, that maybe she was feigning being asleep, right, morning after regret and not wanting to talk about it. And we'd catch that, right? Because we saw her face and Tony didn't when he left. But nope, she looked like she was legitimately asleep, which means we don't know at this stage where she's kind of coming down on reconciliation with Tony. I feel like it's always kind of been inevitable. She's so against divorce. I think she still ultimately cares about Tony. I guess it's all what is she willing to look past and what is she willing to forgive, and where do we kind of go from here with it? But I think we've at least started, right, that journey of reconciliation that wasn't there before. Maybe being a more involved parent with Anthony might help that along as well. I don't know, but she saw him being kind of a loving father to his two kids, being really a gracious host at the party, and her mom kind of being the worst because of how uncouth or unsophisticated Tony was at the party. I thought he was just fine. He came in, he greeted people nicely, he was friendly, he was jovial, he made everybody food, he made the guest of honor happy. I think it all worked out great. Right up until Tony B left the party feeling like he's underappreciated and undervalued in the world and did a really, really stupid thing. kind of curious to see how this all washes out. Appreciate you guys. I will see you soon on the next one.